Hey everyone, if you'd like even more stories, Patreon is the best place to be. You'll get access to over 850 stories. That's almost 1,000 audio story chapters. With new parts released every day, you can also vote in weekly polls, submit your own ideas. Poll number 30 is currently active, so now's the perfect time to help decide what stories come next. All the links are in the description and pinned comment. Enjoy the story. The sun dipped low behind the Hokage rock, painting the hidden leaf village in hues of orange and gold. Naruto Uzumaki walked the familiar path toward the outer forest training grounds, his hands tucked into his jacket pockets. At 19, he was a jonin with more weight on his shoulders than most realized. "I've got to get stronger," he muttered under his breath. "Strong enough to protect everyone, especially the people who matter most." Hinata had asked for private training. Just the two of them. The request had caught him off guard, but he'd agreed instantly. Something about the way her cheeks had flushed when she asked made his chest feel tight in a way that had nothing to do with battle. As he neared the clearing, a sudden, vivid daydream slammed into him without warning. In the vision, they were already deep into it. Moonlight filtered through the trees. Hinata lay beneath him on the grass, completely bare, her long dark hair spread like silk. His new perception was fully active. He could see everything. The glowing network of her chakra points flared bright wherever he touched her. Every rapid beat of her heart showed as pulsing light. The way her core clenched and fluttered with arousal was visible, a swirling vortex of heat and energy drawing him in. He pressed 2 fingers to a sensitive cluster just inside her thigh and watched the chakra explode outward. Hinata's back arched hard, a broken moan tearing from her throat as her thighs trembled. "And Naruto-kun, I can feel you seeing me, it's too much." Her lavender eyes were glassy, cheeks burning crimson, lips parted and wet. He could literally watch her, chakra surging, muscles tightening, slickness coating his fingers. She finced hard, crying his name, and the sight of her chakra flaring like fireworks made his own body throb painfully. In the daydream he didn't stop. He lined himself up and pushed inside while still, seeing every reaction. Every flutter of inner walls, every rush of blood, every spike of pleasure. He felt it twice over. Hinata clung to him, begging in a voice thick with need, her body moving desperately to meet his thrusts. The perception made everything sharper, until they both shattered together in a blinding rush of shared chakra. Naruto stumbled on a root and snapped back to reality, face burning. Whoa, what the hell was that? His heart hammered. The image had been so clear it left him half-hard and breathing fast. He shook his head hard. Focus, idiot. That's not even happened yet. Still, the strange vision lingered as he stepped into the secluded clearing. 2 evenings ago, everything had changed. Hinata had cornered him after a routine team debrief, twisting her fingers in the hem of her jacket. "Naruto-kun, would you train with me? Alone? My gentle fist keeps slipping when other people watch. I trust you." Her voice had been barely above a whisper, cheeks glowing pink. He'd said yes before his brain caught up. They met at dusk in the same hidden clearing, far from prying eyes. The spar started normally, taijutsu drills, blocks, counters. Hinata moved gracefully, but she was holding back. Naruto pushed her gently, wanting her to give it her all. During a close grapple her chest pressed against his, soft and warm even through their clothes. Her breath hitched. His did too. A sweep kick caught him off balance. They tumbled. He twisted to take the impact, landing on his back with Hinata sprawled on top of him. Their faces were inches apart. Her lavender eyes widened. For one suspended second neither moved. Then she kissed him. It was soft, hesitant, tasting of nervousness and years of quiet longing. Naruto froze for half a heartbeat before kissing back. The dam broke. Hands roamed. His sliding under her jacket to feel the curve of her waist, hers clutching his shoulders like she was afraid he'd vanish. Clothes loosened. Jackets shrugged off. Shirts pushed up. Skin met skin. Hinata's first time was shy but eager. She gasped when he touched her melons, sensitive buttons hardening under his palms. She whispered, "It's okay. I want this, Naruto-kun," when his fingers slipped between legs. He was careful, checking constantly, but the heat between them burned away hesitation. Want the complete explicit version with nothing held back? Only $4 on Patreon gets you access to almost 1,000 sizzling episodes. Afterward they lay tangled, breathing hard. Hinata's head rested on his chest, her hair tickling his skin. Naruto stroked her back slowly, still processing what had just happened. That was when he noticed the world had changed. The forest was sharper. He could see individual veins on leaves 20 meters away. Tiny chakra signatures glowed in the undergrowth. Insects, small animals, even the faint flow inside Hinata's body where it pressed against him. It wasn't full Byakugan, but something close. A heightened perception that let him feel the energy around and inside living things. Hinata lifted her head, eyes soft and sated. Then they widened slightly. Naruto-kun, your eyes, there's a faint glow. And the veins near your temples. He touched his face. The sensation faded, but the clarity remained. The next day had been strange. Naruto woke early and went straight to the training posts. He threw a kunai with his eyes half closed, and still hit dead center. When he focused, he could trace the faint chakra pathways in the wooden dummy like glowing threads. A bird landed on a branch 30 meters away. He could see the individual feathers ruffling in the breeze and the quick pulse of its tiny heart. During a quick spar with a training clone, he found himself predicting movements before they happened. Not perfectly, but enough that the clone's attacks felt slower, more readable. He didn't tell anyone. Not yet. The power felt intimate, tied to what he and Hinata had shared. That evening he found her again in the same clearing. She was already waiting, cheeks pink, fingers twisting together. I felt it too, she said quietly before he could speak. When we were together. Something left me and went into you. But it didn't hurt. It felt right. And seeing you stronger because of it. She looked up, lavender eyes shining with a mix of embarrassment and determination. I've liked you for a long time, Naruto-kun. If this helps you protect the village, if it helps you, then I want to keep training with you. Like this. Naruto's throat felt tight. He stepped closer, cupping her cheek. Hinata. I don't want to use you. You're important to me. This power, it's because of you. Because you trusted me. She leaned into his touch, smiling shyly. Then trust me too. Let's do it again. On purpose this time. So we can understand it. And because I want to be close to you. The air between them thickened with anticipation. They didn't rush. They talked first, about feelings, about the strange chakra exchange, about consent. Hinata's voice trembled but never wavered. I want this. I want you. Moonlight painted silver patterns across the grass. Hinata stood before him, slowly untying her jacket with trembling fingers. Naruto watched every movement, heart pounding. When the jacket slipped from her shoulders, he saw the way her chest rose and fell faster. Her cheeks were already flushed deep rose. You're beautiful, he said honestly. She ducked her head, but a small pleased smile curved her lips. You always say things like that so easily. He closed the distance and kissed her, slow, deep, giving her time to melt into it. Her hands came up to his chest, then slid under his shirt, exploring the hard planes of muscle. He shivered when her cool fingers traced his abs. They undressed each other piece by piece. Every new inch of skin revealed was met with soft touches and quiet sounds. Hinata's chest was full and soft, sensitive buttons already tight when he cupped them. She gasped when his thumbs brushed over them, arching into his hands. Naruto-kun. He lowered his head and took one into his mouth, sucking gently. Hinata's fingers threaded into his hair, holding him there. Her chakra was already stirring. He could feel the warm pulse of it even without the full perception yet. They sank to the grass together. Naruto kissed down her stomach, pausing to nip lightly at her hip. Hinata squirmed, embarrassed but clearly aroused. The scent of her filled the small space between them, sweet and heady. When he parted her thighs, she covered her face with both hands for a second, then dropped them, forcing herself to meet his eyes. I'm wet because of you, she whispered, voice thick. It feels embarrassing, but good. Naruto's wand throbbed at the sight and the words. He stroked her inner thighs, watching her reactions. The hottest parts are waiting on Patreon. Unlock the entire scene for only $4. Almost 1,000 steamy episodes inside. Naruto's perception clicked on stronger than before. Suddenly he could see her chakra network in vivid detail. The points along her spine glowed. The cluster at her core pulsed wildly with every movement. He watched, fascinated and incredibly turned on, as her pleasure literally lit up inside her body. He reached down and pressed 2 fingers lightly against a bright point on her lower belly. Grab it now for $4 on Patreon. They stayed locked together, panting, foreheads pressed together. Sweat cooled on their skin. Hinata's arms were wrapped tight around his back, holding him close like she never wanted to let go. I felt it, she whispered after a long minute, voice hoarse and satisfied. Your chakra, it took something from me. But it doesn't feel empty. It feels like I gave it to you on purpose. She smiled, shy but glowing. And I liked it. A lot. Naruto kissed her forehead, then her lips, slow and tender. Thank you, Hinata. I'm going to use this to protect you. All of you. I swear. They cleaned up gently with a cloth from his pouch and redressed slowly, stealing soft touches and kisses between every movement. The night air felt cooler now against their heated skin. They sat side by side on the grass, shoulders touching. Naruto tested the new strength of the perception quietly. He focused on a tree across the clearing and could clearly see the chakra flowing through its trunk and branches like glowing sap. A small nocturnal animal moved in the underbrush. He knew exactly where it was without looking directly. The clarity was incredible. Hinata watched him with quiet pride. It's stronger than before, isn't it? Yeah, he admitted. Way stronger. I can see everything. Your chakra too. It's beautiful. She blushed again but didn't look away. Then we should keep doing this. Not just because of the power. Because I want to be with you like this. And because maybe other Kunoichi could help too. If it makes you strong enough to keep everyone safe. Naruto's chest tightened with emotion. He pulled her against his side, arm around her shoulders. We'll figure it out together. But first, I think we should tell Lady Tsunade. She's the Hokage. If this is some kind of new technique or bloodline thing, she should know. For the village. Hinata nodded against him. For the village, and for us. They stayed like that a while longer, talking softly about nothing and everything, until the moon climbed high and the forest grew quiet around them. For the first time in a long while, Naruto felt like he was on the right path, even if it was one he never imagined walking. If you're enjoying the story so far, I'd really appreciate a like, a subscription, and a comment. It really helps the channel grow and motivates me to keep creating more stories. Now, let's get back to the story. Morning light filtered through the thin curtains of Naruto's apartment. He sat on the edge of his bed, staring at his hands. The events of the previous night still felt unreal. Hinata's warmth, the way her chakra had flowed into him, the sudden sharpening of his senses, it all lingered like a vivid dream that refused to fade. He closed his eyes and focused. The world lit up behind his eyelids. Faint blue threads of chakra pulsed through the wooden floorboards beneath his feet. Outside the window he could trace the energy flowing through the tree branches across the street, see the quick flutter of a bird's heart as it hopped along the sill. It wasn't the full, all-seeing Byakugan, but something close, sharper perception, instinctive understanding of movement and energy. He opened his eyes and they remained for several seconds before fading into normal vision. Amazing, he whispered. He spent the next hour testing it quietly. On the training field behind his building he threw shuriken while half closing his eyes. Most still struck the center of the target. When he focused on a training dummy he could see the faint chakra network running through the wood like glowing veins. A sudden movement to his left made him turn instinctively. He caught the faint disturbance in the air before a leaf even finished falling from a tree. The power was real. And it had come from Hinata. His chest tightened with a mix of pride and something heavier. He hadn't taken it by force. She had given it willingly. Still, the responsibility felt enormous. By mid-morning a messenger hawk arrived with a short mission scroll. Simple patrol along the southern border road, reports of suspicious activity near an old trading post. Low threat, but the timing was convenient. Naruto accepted it immediately. He needed to see what this new perception could really do in the field. The mission itself was straightforward on paper. He was paired with 2 chunin from the regular forces for a standard sweep. They moved along the dusty road, checking abandoned buildings and questioning a few nervous merchants. Naruto kept his new sight active in short bursts, scanning the tree line and the underbrush. It paid off 2 hours in. He felt it first, a subtle ripple in the chakra around them, too steady to be wildlife. 3 figures hidden in the trees ahead, their energy signatures tense and waiting. An ambush. The chunin with him hadn't noticed yet. Stop, Naruto said quietly, raising a hand. 3 hostiles. Left side, 15 meters in. They're trying to circle behind us. The older Chunin blinked but trusted the Jonin's instincts. They adjusted formation smoothly. When the bandits finally sprang their trap, two with short blades, one with a poisoned saban, they found their targets already facing them. Naruto moved first. His enhanced sight let him read the lead attacker's muscle tension a split second before the strike. He sidestepped, grabbed the man's wrist, and redirected the momentum into a clean takedown. The poisoned saban clattered harmlessly into the dirt. The fight was over in under a minute. No one on their side was injured. The bandits were bound and handed over to the border patrol that arrived later. The mission was marked a success with minimal property damage and 0 civilian casualties. On the walk back, one of the Chunin clapped Naruto on the shoulder. "That was some sharp sensing back there, Uzumaki. You been working on something new?" Naruto rubbed the back of his neck, grinning sheepishly. "Just extra training. Glad it helped." Inside, his thoughts raced. The perception had turned a potentially messy encounter into a clean, controlled resolution. He could already imagine how much stronger he would become once he mastered it fully. And every time he used it, he thought of Hinata, how she had trusted him enough to share this part of herself. Hinata sat alone in one of the Hyuga clan's smaller training halls, practicing her gentle fist forms in the afternoon quiet. Her body moved through the familiar sequences, but her mind kept drifting back to the night before. She could still feel the ghost of his hands on her skin. The way he had looked at her, not just with desire, but with something deeper. And then the moment when his eyes had changed, when she had felt her chakra leaving her in a warm, willing rush. It hadn't weakened her. If anything, watching him stand taller afterward had filled her with a fierce, private pride. Her cheeks warmed at the memory. She paused mid-form, pressing a hand to her chest where her heart beat a little too fast. "Naruto-kun," she whispered to the empty room. "If this helps you, I want to give you more." The thought sent a shiver through her that had nothing to do with training. She wanted to feel that connection again. She wanted to watch his power grow because of her. The embarrassment was still there, but it was being steadily overtaken by something warmer and more determined. She finished her forms, then sat on the polished floor to meditate. In the quiet she let herself remember every detail. The sound of his breathing against her ear, the way his chakra had mingled with hers at the peak, the look in his eyes afterward. Her body reacted to the memories. A slow, sweet ache built low in her belly. She didn't fight it. Instead she embraced the feeling, letting it fuel her resolve. Tonight, she decided, she would find him again. And this time she would ask him to use the perception on her deliberately. She wanted to feel what it was like when he truly saw her. They met at the same secluded clearing as the sun began to set. Hinata arrived first, already changed into simpler training clothes. When Naruto stepped into the clearing she smiled, small, shy, but with a new spark of confidence in her eyes. "The mission went well," he said after a quick hug. "Your power, it made a real difference. I spotted an ambush before it happened. No one got hurt." Hinata's smile widened. "I'm glad. Really glad." She stepped closer, fingers brushing his. "Naruto-kun, can we train again? Like last night. But this time, I want you to use what you gained from me. I want to feel you seeing me." His breath caught. The request was direct, almost bold for her, and it sent heat rushing through him. "You sure?" She nodded, cheeks pink but gaze steady. "I trust you. And I like the way it feels when we're connected like that." They didn't need many more words. The grass was cool beneath the blanket Hinata had brought. Moonlight filtered through the canopy in silver patches. They kissed slowly at first, relearning the shape of each other's mouths. Hinata's hands were sure tonight. She tugged his jacket off, then his shirt, running her palms over the hard lines of his chest and stomach with open appreciation. Naruto returned the favor, peeling away her top and the bindings beneath. Her melons spilled free, full and soft in the moonlight. He cupped them gently, thumbs circling her already stiff buttons until she sighed and arched into his touch. "They're sensitive tonight," she murmured, voice breathy. "Because you've been thinking about this?" he asked, voice low. Hinata nodded, embarrassed but honest. "All day. Every time I remembered last night my body got warm." He lowered his head and took one into his mouth, sucking gently while his hand kneaded the other. Hinata's fingers slid into his hair, holding him there. Soft moans escaped her as he lavished attention on her chest, switching sides, scraping lightly with his teeth until her hips began to shift restlessly against him. When he finally pulled back, her buttons were dark and glistening, her breathing quick and shallow. He helped her out of the rest of her clothes, then shed his own. They lay facing each other for a moment, simply looking. Hinata's gaze dropped between his legs and her cheeks flushed darker at the sight of how hard he already was. Naruto reached for her again, sliding one hand down her stomach and between her thighs. He stroked her slowly, watching her face. "You're soaked, Hinata. Because of you," she whispered. "Because I want to help you, and because I want you inside again." He kissed her deeply while his fingers explored. Hinata rocked against his hand, soft sounds growing louder. Everything you've been imagining is on Patreon. Get the full uncut scene for $4. Almost 1,000 burning hot episodes. Naruto's perception clicked on stronger than before. Suddenly Hinata's body lit up from within. He could see the bright network of her chakra points glowing beneath her skin. The cluster at her core pulsed wildly with every movement. He watched, fascinated and incredibly turned on, as her pleasure literally illuminated her from the inside. He reached down and pressed 2 fingers lightly against a bright point on her lower belly. Want the full uncensored 18+ scene? Only $4 on Patreon. They stayed locked together, panting, foreheads pressed together. Sweat cooled on their skin. Hinata's arms were wrapped tight around his shoulders, her face tucked against his neck. After a minute she let out a soft, satisfied laugh. "I could feel you seeing me the whole time," she whispered. "It made everything brighter. Hotter. I've never felt anything like that." Naruto kissed her temple, then her lips. "You're incredible, Hinata. This power, it's not just mine. It's ours now." They cleaned up slowly, trading gentle touches and quiet kisses. Hinata rested her head on his chest once they were dressed again, listening to his heartbeat. "I want to keep doing this," she said after a while. "Not just for the power. Because being with you like this feels right. And because I like seeing you get stronger because of me." Naruto stroked her hair. "I feel the same. But I keep wondering if I'm asking too much. You're giving me pieces of yourself." Hinata lifted her head and looked at him seriously. "I'm not giving pieces away. I'm sharing. And every time we do this I feel closer to you. Stronger in my own way too." She smiled softly. "So don't feel guilty. Feel grateful. And use it well." He pulled her in for a long kiss, pouring everything he couldn't say into it. Later, as they walked back toward the village together under the stars, a messenger hawk found them. The scroll it carried bore the Hokage's seal. Lady Tsunade wanted to see Naruto first thing in the morning. The mission report had already reached her desk, and she had questions about his sudden improvement in sensory awareness. They stopped at the edge of the trees. Hinata squeezed his hand. "She's smart," Hinata said quietly. "She'll notice if we keep this secret too long. Maybe we should tell her. For the village. And because she might be able to help us understand what's really happening." Naruto looked down at their joined hands, then at the lights of Konoha glowing in the distance. The weight of the decision settled over him, but it didn't feel crushing. Not with Hinata beside him. "Yeah," he said finally. "Tomorrow. We'll tell her together." Hinata nodded, lavender eyes calm and resolute. Together. They walked the rest of the way hand in hand, the night quiet around them and the future, uncertain but full of possibility, waiting just beyond the village gates. The Hokage Tower stood quiet under the night sky, most windows dark except for the top floor where a single warm light glowed. Naruto and Hinata lingered outside Tsunade's office door for a long moment, either wanting to be the first to knock. Hinata's small hand found his and squeezed gently, her palm slightly damp from nerves. "You really don't have to do this part alone," she whispered, voice soft but steady. "Whatever happens in there, I'm right here with you. Even if I'm only waiting in the next room." Naruto exhaled slowly, trying to calm the knot in his stomach. "I know. It's just, saying all of this out loud to the Hokage feels crazy. Hey, I've been sleeping with Kunoichi and stealing their powers. She's gonna think I've lost my mind." Hinata's cheeks flushed a deep pink, but she didn't pull away. "It's not stealing. I gave it to you willingly. And it worked. The mission proved it. Every time I remember how your eyes changed that night, I feel proud. A little embarrassed too, but mostly proud." She looked up at him, lavender eyes earnest. If this helps you protect the village, protect our friends, protect me, then I want to keep helping. No matter how intimate it gets. Naruto's chest tightened with affection. He pulled her into a quick, warm hug before they entered. Thank you, Hinata. I don't know what I'd do without you starting all this. Inside the office, Tsunade was still working despite the late hour. Stacks of mission reports and thick medical scrolls surrounded her. She looked up as they entered, golden eyes sharp and assessing. Sit down, both of you, she said, gesturing to the chairs. And don't leave anything out. I want every detail. How it started, what you felt during the chakra exchange, any physical or sensory changes afterward, and exactly what happened on that mission. They sat. Hinata spoke first, voice quiet but clear, describing the private training session in the forest, the spar that turned into something much more intimate, and the strange warm rush she had felt when her chakra flowed into Naruto. Naruto continued, explaining the sudden sharpening of his senses, how he could now see faint chakra networks in living things, predict movements a split second earlier, and how the ability had grown noticeably stronger after their second time together. Tsunade listened in silence, occasionally jotting notes. When they finished, she leaned back in her chair and let out a long breath. Intimate chakra transfer resulting in the copying of Kunoichi abilities, she repeated slowly. Medically, this should be impossible. Chakra is deeply personal. It doesn't simply flow from one person to another without backlash. And yet you're sitting here telling me it not only worked, but improved your capabilities in measurable ways. Her gaze sharpened on Naruto. You're certain there were no negative side effects on Hinata? None that I noticed, Naruto said quickly. She feels the same as always. If anything, she seems more determined. Hinata nodded. It didn't weaken me. If anything, knowing I helped him made me feel stronger in my own way. Tsunade was quiet for a long moment, fingers drumming on the desk. The implications are enormous. If this can be controlled and used safely, Konoha gains a powerful new tool to strengthen its shinobi. But the risks are just as large. What if the transfer isn't truly one way? What if repeated donations drain the donor over time? What if outsiders learn about this and try to force it? She looked at them both seriously. This isn't just personal anymore. It's a village matter. Naruto's jaw tightened. That's why we came to you first. I don't want to hurt anyone. I especially don't want to hurt Hinata. She started this because she trusts me. I won't betray that. Tsunade studied them for several seconds, then made her decision. She stood up. I want to run a controlled experiment. Tonight. In my private quarters where I can monitor chakra flow properly with proper equipment. I'll scan both of you before and after. We document everything. Physical changes, chakra signatures, any side effects. And her golden eyes gleamed with scientific curiosity mixed with something deeper. I'm volunteering as the next test subject. I want to experience this transfer myself. See if monstrous strength can be passed the same way perception was. Naruto's mouth went dry. You, with me? Yes, brat. With you. Tsunade's smile was small but sharp. For science. For the village. And because if this technique exists, the Hokage needs to understand exactly what she's asking others to do. She glanced at Hinata. You can wait in the adjacent room for moral support if you wish. Or leave. No judgment. Hinata took a deep breath, cheeks burning, but nodded. I'll wait nearby. In case Naruto-kun needs me afterward. Tsunade gave her a single approving nod. Good. Let's go. Tsunade's private quarters were surprisingly warm and lived in. A large bed dominated one side of the room. Medical scrolls and research notes were neatly arranged on low tables. In the corner, a small private bath area steamed gently, the water glowing faintly with residual healing chakra. Tsunade locked the door and turned to Naruto. Clothes off. All of them. I need accurate baseline chakra mapping before we begin. Naruto's hands trembled slightly as he undressed. Tsunade did the same without hesitation or shame. When she stood completely bare before him, he couldn't stop himself from staring. She was the embodiment of mature power and femininity. Tall and confident, with large, heavy melons that rose and fell with her breathing, dark pink buttons already tightening in the cool air. Her stomach was toned from years of combat, waist narrow compared to the strong flare of her hips and powerful thighs. Faint old scars marked her skin here and there, reminders of battles long past. Her blonde hair fell loose around her shoulders, framing the diamond mark on her forehead that seemed to pulse faintly. Tsunade noticed his gaze and raised an eyebrow, a hint of amusement in her voice. Like what you see, brat? Good. Now lie on the bed. On your back. The hottest parts are waiting on Patreon. Unlock the entire scene for only $4. Almost 1,000 steamy episodes inside.